What's up, guys? It's Dominique, aka That Therapist, lead clinician and CEO for a group practice known as Yellowbird Counseling. So, what does that mean to you? Well, it can mean a couple of things. The first thing is if you are in search of individual, couples, family, children counseling, you can definitely look to us as a resource for that. We service the states of Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Soon to come, very, very soon to come, Georgia, and hopefully Tennessee. So, but right now we are in those four states. We do provide virtual and in-person sessions. But what do we do for social media? Well, the mission of Yellowbird is to break the stigma of mental health and mental illness. What does that look like more specifically? Well, every Thursday evening, we facilitate live discussions that on topics that the general public can relate to and tie it back to how we could all benefit from having a therapist in our life, a therapist that we see, or a therapist that we can at least call when we need, or a therapist when we get stuck, or when we develop new things about ourselves, a therapist that can help us process those things and what does that look like growth-wise. So, all that. With this month being Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to focus on minority mental health, more specifically the African American community. I have focused on other minority populations in the past for Minority Mental Health Awareness Month as a tongue twister. But this month I'm going to more so focus on my community, the African American community, and discuss different building blocks for relational success and how just us being a part of the African American community and experiencing traumas that have been passed down to us, whether that be how we communicate verbally or the lack of. We talked about that last week and how effective communication could be difficult generally, not saying you specifically, but effective communication could be difficult if you have never had the opportunity or were encouraged to use your voice and process verbally and process what you're feeling inside. If you've always been told to tough it out or stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about, or maladaptive ways of holding things in, brushing things under the rug due to not having the right to communicate. That goes all the way back to slavery and beyond. You know, when the slave masters spoke, we listened, we didn't ask questions, we just did. And I say we as far as ancestors, my ancestors. And so that got passed down, and we kind of learned that only the person in power can speak. So then relationships became more of a power struggle because that was the kind of communication unknowingly that we have adopted and passed down. So we talked about the building blocks to effective communication. And this week, we're going to expand on that by talking more specifically about self-accountability. And that is an extension because a lot of one of the components of effective communication was being aware of your behavior and both people being aware of their behavior and how they come off. Well, that can be difficult. It's hard to be aware if you're functioning out of survival mode. Well, what does that mean? It can be hard to be aware of your own emotions when you're not allowed to express them and process them. So when someone comes at you for the purpose of correction, okay. So when someone comes at you for the purpose of correction, it can very much feel like an attack on character, an attack when it's really just when it's really just, hey, can you check this thing out? But us as African Americans in general, I'm not saying you specifically, it can be hard for us to be told something, because in the past, being told to do something or being corrected automatically meant something was wrong with us. And I'm including, myself included, something was wrong with us, or somebody was trying to harm us, whether that be mentally or emotionally. I'm not necessarily talking about physical harm here. And so the ability to hold ourselves accountable in a healthy way, because some people go overboard with self-accountability and thinking everything's their fault, and some people go underboard by thinking nothing is their fault. So I'm going to address both people. So please definitely share this live. There is someone on your timeline that needs to be more educated about self-awareness, how to carry that out, at what point in their self-awareness journey might they want to seek therapy and or counseling. So please share this live as your contribution to Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay. So of course, we're going to start off very basically. We're going to start off with what is self-accountability. We're going to start off with the definition. So what is it? And definitely put your idea of what you believe it is in the comments. I would definitely encourage you, Instagram, Facebook, tell us what is your idea of self-accountability? What does that mean to you when you hear that word? Do you know what it means to you? And again, please do share this live. So with self-accountability, it has different components, but its overarching general definition is an obligation. Okay, so like a responsibility, an obligation, a responsibility, or willingness. So you can either do it because you have to, or you can do it because you're willing to. Have to, i.e. on a job, you're obligated to do something, or in a marriage where you have some sort of agreement contractually. If you have a marriage certificate, that's a contractual agreement. If you sign an offer for a job, contractual agreement. So those things. So an obligation or willingness being in your friendships, dating relationships, family, where you can decide to accept responsibility or account for your actions. So that's big. If you have been made to feel like in some way that something is wrong with you as a person, all the way down to something as simple as because you're dark-skinned or darker skinned than a white person. There's that societal lessening. Okay, society lessens darker skinned Americans because the proximity to goodness color-wise, societally, not factually, just societally, is closer to whiteness. So being corrected or accepting responsibility can be a very sore spot for somebody who is constantly criticized or told something's wrong, or made to feel like something is deficient about them. So an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or account for your actions, your words, your nonverbals. That is what self-accountability is, and more specifically, accepting your actions, your words, your responsibility for your behavior, to the extent at which you make yourself answerable, meaning you answer to another for your behavior. So not only are you obligated or willing to accept it, but you are, you are communicating your part to someone else. So that already is starting to sound kind of hard if you're mentally you're in a space of survival, or mentally you're dealing with negative belief that something is wrong with you, or you're defective, or you're worthless. Like, being able to accept your responsibility and communicate that could be hard. But then again, also, if you have those very same negative beliefs, you could go to the extreme and over accept responsibility for things that are not your responsibility. And I spend a lot of time in sessions helping clients tease that out. Like, what were you responsible with? What was your part and what was their part? And what can you do in your part? How can you manage your part? And how can you respond to their part? So under accepting your part or over accepting your part is definitely an indicator that there is some sort of deficit in self-accountability. Taking responsibility for what you put out and managing the consequences. So consequences, good or bad, come with good and bad behavior. Okay. So part of accepting responsibility for our self-accountability is taking responsibility and accepting the consequences. So that's already 3 components. First, you have to mentally take responsibility. Then you have to verbally take responsibility. And then you have to, whatever that causes, you have to behaviorally accept that responsibility. So that's 3 parts, 3 things that you have to do. And that could be difficult, again, if your mindset is defeat overall. Or less than, or worthlessness overall, or taking too much and allowing somebody to gaslight you. That could definitely cause you to over accept responsibility for yourself. Again, both, whether it's over or under, it's not healthy self-accountability. And so in order for us to get to a place where we can have productive, healthy relationships with others, this is a very important component to assess in your own life and seek counseling or therapy, in the areas that you need help growing. So definitely assess yourself there. And of course, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Please put them in the comments. So what are some of the components? We talked about, generally what the components are. More specifically, what are those components? So having realistic expectations of yourself, for those of you that over accept responsibility, and having realistic expectations of others, for those of you that under accept responsibility. If it's always their fault and it's never your fault, then you might want to assess your expectations, okay? And if it's always your fault and it's never their fault, I would still say assess your expectations, because in a back and forth, in a 2-person exchange, somebody has a part. Both people have a part, okay? And so accepting your part and the other person accepting their part goes back to effective communication. But as far as it relates to self-accountability, definitely having realistic expectations for yourself and for the people around you. That can be difficult. A lot of people oftentimes don't even know what realistic expectations look like. So that would be an area where you would want to seek therapy, because while there are some general expectations that are, realistic based on your specific lifestyle and circumstance, your expectations may be different from mine, So, and they're still right. Nothing's wrong with them, but they could be different. So you would need one-on-one counsel to assess how to have realistic expectations for yourself and others if that's not something that you're familiar with. And then this is more so just general self-accountability. Make sure you gather resources and support. If you're trying to work through something that you're accountable for, you definitely want to have support in that, because again, that can be very, very difficult. That can be difficult to do. So making sure you are giving yourself the opportunity to learn more about yourself by seeking out those resources for the topic that relates to you, that you could be having difficulty in, having a non-biased party, such as a therapist, to help you. Of course, friends and family are great, but they can only go as far as their relationship. And with them having skin in the game, it could be a little difficult for them to give you a clear, unbiased view of what self-accountability or a component of self-accountability could look like. So, create self-rules, create boundaries for yourself. That is something also too that I work a lot on with clients in therapy sessions. Not just building boundaries and expectations for others, but building boundaries and expectations of yourself too, and how to develop and walk out realistic expectations. So definitely creating self-rules or self-boundaries. Self-compassion. This is for those of you that overdo it, take way too much responsibility for stuff that isn't your responsibility. Give yourself compassion. Give yourself understanding, because it can be hard when you implement self-rules and you carry them out and maybe you fall short. It can be hard on you to fall short, but you have to give yourself compassion. That's just good. That's part of good self-accountability, because very rarely does anything happen overnight in the human experience. Some things, but as far as growth, that doesn't happen overnight. So you have to give yourself compassion when you mess up. Know your role and make sure it is clearly defined to you if you're in a relationship with someone else, any type of relationship, whether that be job, whether that be family, whether that be friendship, whether that be dating, whether that be marriage. You need to know what your role is so that you can operate in whatever that is. And if you need help learning how to operate in whatever your role is, that too could come benefit of therapy. You could definitely, seek out counsel for things that, as it relates to jobs. I have clients ask me all the time, like, oh, I'm having this particular thing going on my job, and I don't know how to manage it. I don't know how to communicate it. I don't know what my role is. So then we have to assess what it looks like to gain that information for their situation. Be honest. Be honest. With self-accountability, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to be honest with others, okay? You have to be honest with yourself and others. And apologize. If you do something wrong, whether you intended to or not, intent and impact are two different things. I have apologized for many things, and I don't intentionally hurt nobody. I don't try to intentionally hurt anyone. And so, but that doesn't mean that I don't hurt people. That doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes that could cause someone else to feel something negative. So whether it is my intention or not, I can communicate, well, it wasn't my intention, but I understand that my impact, the way that whatever I did came across was offensive to you, and I do apologize for that. I do apologize that I didn't want to come off that way, and then expressing how you do see that person in a positive light. But sometimes with us being humans, we make mistakes. We're not always aware of ourselves, and so because of that, it can cause offense. So be willing to apologize, but that also comes with being okay with being wrong. If you are not okay with being wrong, you already effective communication ain't gonna happen. Self accountability ain't gonna happen. But stop associating being wrong with something being wrong with you, okay? Just because a behavior you did or a thing you said was wrong does not mean that something is wrong with you. And I think that's where the breakdown comes in. Wrong, when we hear wrong, we're thinking wrong with us instead of just wrong with our behavior, okay? So you're human. You're going to do things wrong. You're going to make mistakes, but that does not mean that something is wrong with you, okay? Again, please share this live. Please share this live and ask your questions. There's somebody on your timeline in one of your Facebook groups that doesn't know that it's okay to be wrong, and that doesn't mean that something is wrong with them. So definitely please share this. Thank you. Use your time wisely. That's something that you want to do if you want to hold yourself accountable. If you gotta clean your house, do work, feed your baby, get your nails done, whatever you have to do, self-accountability is using your time wisely, making sure that you're allocating your time in the proper places. And that is something you may need help being able to see. I have helped a lot of my clients build block schedules or finding out what the barriers to them being able to execute tasks are. So we do a lot of time management work in therapy, more so counseling, but using your time wisely is a more specific component of self-accountability. Don't overcommit to things. As for those of you that take more responsibility than what you need to for stuff, and then it causes deficits in other areas of your life. You cannot overcommit to things. You cannot overcommit. And that happens a lot if you have been coerced in your family system to feel as though you're responsible for more than what you're responsible for. Then you can, you grow a habit of taking responsibility and overextending yourself, which causes you other issues in other areas of your life. And then also with self-accountability, you have to make time to reflect on your behaviors, on your encounters. I have some of my clients do an exercise where at the end of each day, they will notate how did they feel about their self that day, how did they feel about just the people they interacted with just that day, and how did they feel about the environments that they were in just that day, to reflect and really be aware of what's going on mentally and emotionally. So it is very important to make regular time to reflect. It doesn't got to be for hours and hours and hours, but at least 20, 30 minutes to just kind of ground yourself in, okay, how do I think that thing went? How do I think this day went in all areas? And I say self, world, and others because those are the three components that with cognitive behavioral therapy, we focus on where the effect is. The effect in how you see yourself, the effect in how you see others, and the effect in how you see the world around you. Those are the areas that we focus on as far as redirecting or reconstructing thoughts. So, yeah, that's self-accountability. It's pretty cut and dry, but I know that it is easier said than done. I know for me to take accountability for my own self was a growth journey. And thanks to my dad for kind of making me be that way early on. And it was always me, and he, with him, I was over accepting responsibility in a lot of areas, but it was always, but what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? It always redirected me back to what I did or what I could have done. So while that was uncomfortable in the moment as a 12-year-old, you know what I'm saying? It's second nature for me now. And with therapy, I've learned how to do it in balance. It's that my part, but not take responsibility for parts that are not mine. So yeah, it's very important. If you couple that with last week's discussion, if you missed it, go back and look at it. That one's effective communication. If you couple those things, these two together, you're already on a good track. You already have real good content to cover with your therapist, either in your first session or your next session. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, what kind of comments, questions y'all got? Questions, comments, what y'all have? Let's see. I'm looking on Instagram first, see what they got. Instagram just watching. All right, well, what you got over here, Facebook? Yeah, self-accountability. Danielle said self-accountability is taking responsibility for your actions. Absolutely. Very well said. Very well said. Cool. Let me see something real quick. Y'all give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay, let me see something. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. 2 seconds. Yeah. I just had to look up something real quick. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Oh. Okay. Cool. Just double checking a few things. All right, cool. So, yeah, any other questions, comments, concerns? Questions, comments, concerns? This one was pretty straightforward. We're doing each week. What we're doing is we're building up to how to have a healthy relationship overall, because I know that loneliness or being single is a thing. And so I wanted to focus on how to specifically and help my community understand where those things could come from, and then the nitty gritty of it. So we did effective communication last week. This week we did self-accountability. Next week we'll discuss how to build healthy boundaries and reasons why that could be hard for us as African Americans in generally. I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying in general. And then we will end Minority Mental Health Awareness Month with healthy reciprocity. So knowing what to expect and knowing what to give in a relationship. So then if you take all these out and start practicing and implementing and focusing on these areas, then definitely you are on the right track to be in healthy relationships with people that deserve you. But if you are listening to any of these lives at any point in your life, what does that look like more specifically for me? Then you are welcome to call us. You are welcome to shoot us a text and we can help you. So let me tell you what to text. Okay. Text this and then we can help you. If at any point you have noticed that I'm not really sure how to do that, or what does that mean for me specifically, you can just text that number and we'll get you together. Okay. And get you paired with one of my awesome therapists on staff who can help you identify areas that you have. But that's literally all you have to do. Is text new to that number, this number below, and you will be on the right path to contribute to your own wellness, to contribute to your own ability to be able to take healthy accountability for yourself. All right. Yes, what's your question? Tell us your question, Toya. Do I work with kids? Yes. In our practice, we work with kids. So we have 2 therapists that prefer, well, I won't say prefer. One therapist that prefers working with adolescents, and then another therapist who likes to work with our kids and our teens and adolescents. Me, I like them all. I'm not seeing a lot of younger kids, like kids under the age of 8, because they're not really good with, like, I'm doing mostly virtual. So I give those to my in-person therapists who are seeing people in person, and then they can engage. But yes, I like working. Actually, my favorite for boys, my favorite age is 9, and then for girls, actually 6-year-olds are fun. 6-year-old, 5. But I mean, I like working with adolescents and teens too. For me, there are these therapists who will say, you can't work with everybody. Well, if you have the background to support it, then yes, you can. If you have the training and education to support it and the experience, then yes, you can. Literally the first 6 years of my career, I worked in foster care. I worked with foster children with therapeutic diagnosis and foster children that had some sort of intellectual disability or developmental disability. I worked with them for the first 6 years of my, well, actually not even, I'll say first 6 years as a therapist, but even before that, I was working with children and teens. Okay. And then the last 4 years, I've been working more with adults. So my caseload literally man, woman, child. It just, that is what it is, because I have experience in those areas, and I don't prefer one population over the other. But yes, we as a practice do work with kids. Yes, we do. Okay. Well, definitely, hey, if she needs our assistance, text this number and we'll get you set up. Okay. If you text, go on ahead and text new to that number, we will get you set up. But having self-esteem issues at age 12 is not uncommon. That's just already a hard age. It's when you're transitioning from child to teenager, and it's a lot of hormonal and neurological and developmental things that come with that, and that can wear on a kid. So yeah, we'll get her straight. We'll get her straight. I'm confident that we will get her straight. Okay, so text that and we will go from there. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Also, please do share this live. Share this live, because there is someone on your timeline who needs to hear it. So please, please, please share this live, okay? But any other questions? Any other questions? Yes, we do couples. We offer individual for adults and kids and teens and adolescents. We offer couples, whether you're married or just in a relationship. We offer family for whatever your family structure looks like. We offer group, more so support groups for a variety of things. We're trying out right now. Us offering groups is relatively new since the pandemic, so we're trying to figure out which groups people like. So we get a lot of requests from our own clients. And so a lot of the groups that we do are requests of our own clients. So we do those, but we do invite people that aren't currently clients with us to come in. So we offer those as well. Yeah. So we work with adults, we work with elderly, we work with children, we work with teens, we work with adolescents. We have therapists that prefer each of those. And then we have therapists that have more specialty areas within working with children or adults. And then we have our marriage and family therapist who does our families and couples and things like that. So yes, we got you. We have some clients that the whole family comes. We got therapists for the kid, therapist for the mom, therapist for the dad, another therapist that does couples with the mom and the dad, another therapist that does family with the mom, the dad, and the kid. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. And so, yes, you'll be Yellowbird supported up. So, yes, we got you, whatever you need. Just text the word new to this number below, and we will get you set up instantly. Any other questions, comments, concerns about Yellowbird, or even about the conversation of self-accountability, if you have any questions? Yeah, just text us. I'm telling you, we'll get you set up. And we'll get you taken care of. All right, well, let's see. I think I got them. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you don't know. If you want to know, you need to go to yellowbirdcounseling.com and subscribe to the newsletter, because if you did the thing, then you know. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. You did the thing, you know what to do. And so today is $100 Cash App giveaway. So we do those randomly throughout the month, and only the people on the text community or the newsletter know when we're going to do them, and they know exactly what to do to be eligible to win. Okay, so looks like we got two. So Danielle, you can be number 2, and Tanya, you can be number 1. All right, so let's see. Let us see. Y'all know I got to show you from the very beginning, so you know I don't play no favorites. You guys remember your numbers, okay? But let me pull up a new tab. Let me share my screen. Share a tab. New tab. All right. So we got it. So let's see. Number. I like the number generator wheel. Okay. Number picker wheel. This one we used before. Okay, let's use this one. I think we used that one before too, but let's see. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Yep. We haven't used this one before. So 1, let's see. It'll be 2. Is it going to just show up like that? Reset wheel. Wait a minute. Okay. 1 and 2. There we go. So this is a new one. I haven't actually even used this one. So you can click to spin. winner is 0. So we'll have to do that again. We'll have to roll again because obviously there's not a 0. Winner is number 1! Yay! Who is number 1? Who was number 1? Who was number 1? Who is number 1? All right. Let's see. Stop sharing. Who is number 1? Because I did it backwards. Oh, okay, because I gave Danielle 2. So that would be Tanya. You won. You won. So I'm going to send it right now. Hold on, Instagram. I'm going to be right back. I got to share. I got to make sure Tanya, because y'all know I send it in real time, like right away. I send it right away. So y'all don't think I be capping. Like, oh, she's not really going to send it. Yes, I am. I'm about to send it right now. Hold on. Let me clear some stuff out. All right. Let's get it. So I'm going to send it right now. Y'all give her congratulations. Y'all give her some likes. Y'all give her some loves. Y'all give her some high fives. Let's see. I'm making sure I put it in right because there is that infamous time where I did send money to the wrong person. And then let me make sure. Congratulations! Let's see. I'm making sure I'm entering your stuff in right so that we can be sure you get your money. All right. And I'm going to put congratulations from Yellowbird Counseling. Congratulations from Yellowbird Counseling, and then the 3 yellow hearts. Yeah, girl, right before the freaking weekend. I got to show y'all I did it so you can see. There you go. There you go. Sent it. Done. All right. IG, I'm back. She got her money. Yay! Did you let us know when you get it? Let us know that you got it. All right. You got to let us know. Okay? If you're still here. You got it. Yay! Awesome. All right. So, yes, you definitely want to be on the newsletter so you will know when we're doing our $100 Cash App giveaways. Okay? So, definitely stay tuned. Again, next week we're going to be talking about healthy boundaries and why that may be a deficit in the African American community in general, not specific to you, but if it is for you, definitely come back, or somebody on your timeline who you may need to give the information to. But I love y'all and thank y'all so much for all your support. And oh my gosh, if you are not following us on Facebook or Instagram, you want to do that within the next 4 days because we have something really huge about to happen. So definitely within the next 4 days, today, go on ahead and follow us on Instagram and Facebook so you do not miss it because we have a very huge announcement that I cannot wait to share. So definitely get in the know and we will see you soon. Talk to y'all later.